They actually fixed it. Wow. Okay. Nice. Take pictures. It's cool. It's cool. All right. All right, guys. So I stepped out here. Okay, so pretty much, tell you something, man. I wanted to step out here to show you that they fixed the door. So you gotta understand, all right? There's that door. Took them a couple of weeks or so after the recording or so. All right. There's a lot going on that needs to be addressed, and all it takes is an addressing. You know, it's funny how a lot of things get fixed. Okay, when you have legal grounds to sue. So all right. So you gotta understand, you gotta forgive people. So you saw the wet floor sign particularly. I didn't go in there. I didn't want to disturb. I said, I asked first. Friend particularly, as they come on into it. I was very polite. Okay. All right, in spite of everything that they put me through. So you just have to forgive people, man. Okay. So eventually I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna donate some money. Because all this fixing in these things, or particularly even when it comes to the plug, the electrical or receptacles that they removed, all right, particularly all that costs money, and all that those taxpayer dollars can go to somewhere else where there was no real issue. You see what I'm saying? And it just being racist. Okay. Now, for what I heard, they really started with the plugs first, and then they worked their way around. Okay. All right. So I cannot use it in my case against them, which I already can. Okay, that shit should have been fixed a long time ago. Like the problem upstairs, it's been like that for a while. All right, so until I begin to speak about these things and talking about the issues, the restrooms and people peeking in, peeping toms and all of that, okay, that's when things start to be fixed. You see, that's why it's good. That's why it's good to file complaints in a respectable manner. See, if I was walking around here, and you can still get things done, but I don't like to do that. Walking around here saying, bitch, motherfucker, nigga, or like the Caucasians like to pan me out to be and claim that I'm a bigot. If I was walking around here saying, the C word, the H word, I don't feel even comfortable using that kind of language, okay? The only reason why I started using nigga is because, I don't like using that word either. It's because of the trauma that I'm going through. And, it's considered a term of endearment. All right? Okay. So even when it comes to, me being a Jew, for Facebook and, anyone that has an issue with me posting, the involvement of this case and the terms of endearment, okay, that my community uses, okay, me being a Jew and all, okay, and considered to be, let me say this, associated with the black community, yes, but not in name, in the sense I do not identify with, I do not identify with this verbiage or terminology, okay, of whitewashing, all right? So you never called that in the first place, all right? So you have to understand here, I do have my fits of anger, but it's righteous anger, and it's logical anger, and justifiable anger, okay? That does not justify me violating anyone's civil liberties, or particularly, as I'm making this video, this beautiful library right here does not give me the right, okay? Does not give me the right, in spite of everything that's happened to me, to cause a disturbance within this library when it comes to the librarians, when it comes to Fran, Holly, Tim, that talked about molesting sexually molesting. He right there. He working today. Chinese Cody and Tim. Okay, it's really Tim. Molesting Chinese, let me turn this camera away. I'm not trying to get the patrons here. Nothing against you guys. Sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry. You see, you got to be respectful. Hey, there you go. But look, I'm not trying to catch these people or film them particularly. I'm just letting you know that I stand for this library. And I'm going to donate money to it. Now, they talked about refusing the money. Okay. Why is that? Because they don't want me to look benevolent. Tim is the one with the long hair. He looks like Chris Hemsworth. Okay, the generic version. I'm not trying to be funny. We would go back and forth capping jokes on each other. But I was very lighthearted. Motherfucker was like, this dude, he went for the gusto. He really did, man. And I got a heart, man. Motherfuckers are heartless. Despite everything that's happened to me, the Lord gonna deal with them. You gotta forgive people, okay? Okay? Despite everything that happens to me, I say I have a forgiving heart. Okay? I know how to go to 10 and calm right back down. Okay? I got control. See, the Lord is slow to anger, patience, has great mercy. Okay? Alright? There's Bible verses I read every day. So if I stay up, my days begin at 2100 hours. So that means I'm starting another study period. And I just move on and start another window of study. And continue on. Okay? That's what I do. So if I don't make it to the library, 2100 hours since 3600 hours. And so 3600 hours is a bit of an uneven stretch. So 3600 hours versus 48 hours. Give myself 2 days. No, I give myself 3 days. Or 36 hour, not 3 day period, but 36 hour period. Extra 12 hour period. So my days would end in the morning. According to the 24 hour schedule here, it will end at 9 in the morning. And then the next day, it ends at 2100 hours, still 9. Okay? All right, you see what I'm saying? So if I don't make it to the library, I put down 2100 hours because that's the next day following the 2100 hour schedule of my days being 3 hours, ending in the 24 hour schedule for the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. So I follow a few time zones, I believe 4 or 5. Okay, if I go back and check my period and time zones that I have made, so I'm falling within range of always keeping track of a time period or time zone, multiple time zones at once. Okay, so it's a lot of work, but it's fun as hell. It's like a fucking game. It's a puzzle, man. I love it. I really do. And it's good therapy for me. So when I speak in my language and things of that nature, okay, it's okay, voice of therapy. Okay, voice of therapy for me. Take my time, I speak in my language and shit like that I created, which I have an alphabet for. I have a few. Okay, and I built it based off of the trauma, the violation of my privacy. Okay, so that's why I built my alphabet. Okay, or a few. I'm not gonna go into detail. I'm a bit slow. I do call them puzzle pieces. Each letter is a puzzle piece to a bigger puzzle. Okay. All right. Now you can say there's 100, and let me stop there. I really don't want to get too much into what I like to do, but that's for the case and further down the road. It's just something I like to play with. Okay. Okay. So that's what I'm gonna say, man. Particularly, I'm a bit slow, man. So I can say it is what it is. When you hear me talk, I stumble over my words and shit. Not only that, it could be because of all the malnutrition, not getting the proper electrolytes, suffering from sleep deprivation and stuff like that. Because I don't get any sleep at all. But you gotta understand, man. Look, I got nothing against these people, okay? But they start getting things done when they know I got legal ground, son. I just think that's funny. But like I say, hardy got hard. My name ain't naughty by far. Okay? Alright? But you gotta forgive people. Alright? So I like to write poems and shit. So like I say, when I get back to the terms of endearment, when it comes to, they call me kike so much, man. It's become a badge of honor. Okay? And I don't mean a badge of honor in the sense, it's like particularly Okay, like, like women call each other bitches and shit. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Okay? Now, if I walked up to this woman that I don't know and I call them a bitch, okay? You know what I'm saying? It's a problem. But within the realm of notoriety, or within the realm of knowability, okay, I say, it's no problem. Now, they mean it in an offensive term, in an offensive manner. So what I did was I flipped it. So for Facebook and everyone that has an issue, if I post anything and you take offense to it, if I am what technically what they describe me as, what I would be associated in their kingdom when it comes to the Caucasoids, of the Canaanites, a nigger, okay, and going back to my biblical lineage and taking a DNA test, which I can, post, which I'm not going to do that. It's nobody's business. When for court, I will. Tracking down all the Jews, actually, and it's funny, that are still in that land, that land that I tracked them down to, particularly of origin, and studying their migration, and then finding videos on YouTube, in books, in DNA tests that they have taken, proving that they were, particularly the tribe that I hail from, the Leviim, Jewish confirmed this themselves, then yes, I am a Jew. Okay, so I did years study of this, since 2014. So I can go down to I took the DNA test at Ancestry.com, spent $100, and I tracked every bit of lineage and every drop in ounce and percentage where I hail from. Okay? Even going to the black aristocracy when we ruled over Europe. Okay? Alright? From Ireland to Russia to Deutschland, Germany. I mean, all over, man. So I would track the migrations of my people. You see what I'm saying? So, for people saying that I use defamatory slurs, okay, or derogatory slurs, I said, well, look. So, that's like people post things all the time on the web. Nigga, particularly, it's become a term of endearment in all music. Why are they not taking that shit down? Okay? You see what I'm saying? So how can something be derogatory when it's aimed at as a compliment or a badge of honor? As a marking of the building of my case. It's just logical. It's just logical, man. Okay? But like I say, it's just logical, even mathematical. You look at the algorithm of just logic and time, space. Okay? Alright? Literary algorithm. Okay? It's real simple. But like I say, it's no problem. It is what it is. You know, you have to comply to certain things, certain degrees. As particularly when it comes to when it comes to the certain degrees, okay, and manners of consciousness and dealing with certain individuals and things of that nature. So the reason why I mention this in Facebook and everything is because particularly there's an underhanded plan that is working against me, particularly when it comes to the Proud Boy APB, underhanded in the shadows, undermining plan, to pull everything down that I have on Facebook in regards to exposing everything that I have on them in regards to this case. And it's funny because all my shit's on private. So unless you a bigot and you're not reading the context of what I'm stating and what I'm saying, it shouldn't be an issue. Okay? If you don't understand, I mean, it's really plain as day. Anyone can understand it. But you know, you got to be careful because, you know, when someone asks you to change things and things of that nature, you keep the original copy. All right? So if there's any issues, and you may have to possibly take them to court because they could be infringing on your right of freedom of speech. All right? So that's like me going on Facebook. How many things how many things that I've seen people post on Facebook when it comes to Caucasians, saying nigga this, hate spics, all kinds of stuff in comments, and they don't get flagged for shit. Okay? Alright? How many comedy skits are put on Facebook when it comes to these things? Comedies. Okay? Now, I'm a bit of a comedian, I guess I've been told. And I have a very humorous way of looking at things. Okay? But you gotta understand, man, when it comes to the whitosphere, okay? Whitosphere, yes, sphere, but also fair is in there too, the pronunciation of, and not wanting me to rise above. Excuse me. Don't want to get in their way. Okay? They don't want me to rise above them. And I said, who's them? Okay? I'm just trying to get off the streets. So you have the librarians here that have kept me on the streets. Okay? Since 2023, and have stated this, shout out to Facebook, being a life and death situation, goes to show without the posting of this information, these people will lynch me with the cold or a bullet or a ballot and a gun. Okay? When it comes to the ballot, and what I mean by that is the abolishment of the 13th Amendment. Now, what is that 13th Amendment? The abolishment of slavery that they keep talking about abolishing so they can have me as a slave and know all my ways. Because I'm an introvert and I keep shit to myself. So whites have an issue, and I will post it on Facebook. They have an issue with us being quiet. They think we're plotting against them. Particularly, you ever notice when we get in big groups, even if we wear suits and shit like that, you know, even if we're walking around real presentable, it's really nobody's damn business. We're not causing any trouble. Shalom, how you doing? How you doing?
Hello.
Hey, but you gotta understand, they always harp on us when we come together. They don't like to see us come together, okay? Especially when it comes to positive things. That's why they hated me going to church. Shout out to Rabbi Matityahu, okay? We had our issues and our stretch, but he's still a part of the tribes, man. You know, Rabbi Matityahu, okay? You gotta understand, man. Never will I turn against my community. I'm gonna just put that out there for all those motherfuckers trying to make me a coon. Okay? Or ostracize me, as the Caucasians actually think they had the power to. Ostracize me from my family, and particularly from my community. Now, unfortunately, my community is very docile. The most docile community I've ever seen in all of history of Stockholm Syndrome, okay? So you gotta forgive, man. Fuck it, man. That's cool. I fight alone. Motherfucker. So for a while, the Caucasians have been plaguing my community. Not really plaguing them. It's lulling them into a deeper sleep of Stockholm, okay, to tend to stand against me. Okay? You got motherfuckers walking around here as dark as me, thinking I got something against them. Okay? Alright? Because of the complexion of their skin. You got motherfuckers as light as me walking around here, thinking I have something against them because of the complexion of their skin, but at the same time calling me crackers and honkies. And then every time I would try to sleep, they would say these things, and they would say these enchantments. So I would have nightmares, and I was wondering what the hell was going on. And then I would wake up, and then I would hear them speaking these enchantments, day in and day out. So this would be at the industrial party store. I can take pictures. I can show you the exact spots where I used to sleep, right where the camera was, in line up with the camera, because they were threatening to take my life. So sometimes you got to be a little bit more, not aggressive in your tone, but assertive. And sometimes you do have to be aggressive in a sense. If they take it, they're showing them that you can take it there too, if you have to. Okay? Okay? So you got to understand it's a long prevailing history of these folks and their subterfuge and their hands, deceitful hands, in deceitful dealings, dishonest dealings, in dirty dealings within our communities, not only with our communities, but many others, like the Native Americans, me being a native, Hebraic, Spartan, Norseman. And I am also Mayan as well. Go figure, right? According to my DNA test. But like I say, it is what it is. I do use a bit of the verbiage of their language. Okay, so I study a lot of things. Okay, shout out to the Mayans. Okay, you'd be surprised what's in you. Okay, but like I say, so it is what it is, man. You know, the Caucasians don't like the Mayans either, because I identify with them. They don't like the Chinese, the Japanese, the Native Americans. That's what people know the Native Americans to be today. Okay, particularly. By the way, they changed a lot of us were Native Americans considered native. But what they did was the Caucasians, okay, what they did was they changed our orientation, or our ethnical orientation of what we identified with. Okay, and that's what they did, so they didn't have to pay us reparations. And you can track this and you can study this for yourself. Okay, the Viking explorers that came here that were considered black according to their, identification of phenotype and appearance, or Negroid particularly. All right. Same thing for those who were the, originators of Deutschland, Germany, swarthy, tawny. Even Benjamin Franklin talked about all of Europe being swarthy or tawny during the time of us ruling still, at that point in time, still having this very, having an extreme stronghold, okay, Europe over the time when it came to the black aristocracy, quote unquote so-called black aristocracy, referred to as a period in time in history as the Dark Ages. Okay, no real advancement. Really, it was no real advancement for them. That's why they call it the Dark Ages, and that's really the true history behind that name. Okay. All right. So you gotta understand, I'm concise with my research and my studies. I have citations, I can back this shit up. Now, you can choose to believe in whatever you want to believe in. Okay? I had a 4th grade education because of the institutionalized racism of Port Huron. I still educate myself to this day. I also created a calendar, particularly based off of the scriptures. Okay? Alright? Name these names based off of the Most High Yah of my calendar. Okay? Alright, so it is what it is. I've yet to send to the police because I have been so backed up and busy, with these fucking bigots. As you can see, they keep kicking me out of motherfucking places, so it's hard for me to look at fucking applications and shit when you ride my dick all the time. Ride my dick like yes, Miss Daisy. Motherfucker, I ain't no chauffeur. I ain't Morgan Freeman this motherfucker. Ain't no yes, Miss Daisy. So when they do these things, particularly the library being extremely responsible for the slander and defamation of my good name, okay, given to me by my Heavenly Father, my ancestors, okay, okay. It's very frustrating. Okay, so this language that I've created, I'm quite dizzy right now. Every time when I go into this fucking library, I gotta ask, can I take a piss, take a shit, everything. From getting a drink of water. What that sound like, man? The good old boy system. You know why I ask? Because everything I do, particularly Fran, the reason why I ask, everything I do can be used against me in the court of law of white supremacy. And I'll tell you what, they really do hold everything against me, especially every letter I read, from every letter I read, for every time I speak a language, okay, my language particularly, or speaking in their tongue, whether it be Latin, Hebrew, Arabic, because I did take Arabic in college and I got an A, and they become jealous. Nauseatingly jealous to the point where it's sickening, and I have dizzy spells. Okay? All because of jealousy. Said I'm too good for my race. So he needs to get with one of us. And I said, well, wait a minute now. You want me to get with you, but all you're doing is enabling me and keeping me on the streets. And so this is what they talk about doing to get revenge on me. Have sex, get me to have sex with one of their women, and then immediately call the cops afterward. Okay. And not only that, but say, I've colonized you, nigger. Okay. And accuse me of raping them. Why the fuck would I want to lay with you? And then making sure they get pregnant to keep me in debt to the government when it comes to child support for the rest of my life. I think you can get a felony. You can be accused. You can get charged with a felony if you don't pay child support. You go to jail and shit. Okay? So particularly, this is their master plan. So I remember my father had some issues with that. Hey, look, shout out to my father. He's a wonderful father. I'm not trying to talk down to him in any way, shape, or form. Shout out to my father for paying my phone bill, the same phone that I'm using to make this video. Okay, so when you have this system of systemic racism using my child against me, okay, to keep me under the umbrella of the American institutionalized system of the American institutionalized racism, the structure of American institutionalized racism, thus getting me a felony, thus not being able to go overseas and visit the locations of my family tree that I've tracked down since 2014. Okay? Now, you know what I'm saying? Fran has talked about this, Holly, Tim, Cody. Anything we can do to get that nigger to stay on ground. Don't let him get off ground. That nigger. Look at that American flag. Beautiful thing right there. Thing of beauty, man. Oh, there you go. Thing of beauty. Another American flag. But like I say, it is what it is. So I fight for my freedom. No? Or freedoms, excuse me. Freedoms. Liberations. Okay? You gotta forgive people, man. It's the whites, particularly. It's I don't even feel comfortable calling them that, the Canaanites or the bigobites, because they've separated themselves and said that anyone that does not stand with them are disposable whites. So you had Caucasians, the members of their own community, that were afraid to assist me. That's why I say there's 1/6 of a percent. 1/6 of a percent of these are Caucasians. 1/6 of a percent. And that's particularly the innocence of the children or the babies that do not have the intellectual capacity or the consciousness to comprehend what racism really is. Okay? Alright? I mean, you got motherfuckers so fucking stupid. They were yelling in the background that I'm not a god of YouTube or some dumb shit, God of YouTube. Fucking bigots, man. Okay, that one lady right there. I notice when it comes to and it's a thing when it comes to the fact on white bitches and shit. No disrespect. Okay, you gotta understand. I don't accuse to be a god of any sort, but like I say, it's always the fat white bitches, And I blame it a lot of times, no disrespect. I blame it on these motherfuckers, the brothers that be sitting up there giving them the time of day. They sloppy as hell. They nasty. They don't know how to wipe their ass.
I don't see baby.
They trifling. They get told. Okay? They're told. And it's not just them either, okay? You got the petite white bitches too. The trailer trash, white trash, whatever you want to call them. Hicks. See if they suck your dicks. Okay, suck all dicks. Speaking like them now, the Hicks. All right, turn tricks and everything and call you a nigger at the end of the day. Okay, and they call their vagina the colonizer and shit. I mean, that's some sick shit right there. I said, why would I want to sleep with a woman that is, you call your, and I'm trying to keep it PG because there kids walking up here. You call your vagina the colonizer. Alright. So you gotta understand, I'm just taking my time. I'm just protecting myself. I stepped outside the library, mind you. So a friend brings her bigot ass out here and say some shit. I'm like, I got a quarter ass too. I said, bitch, we all know you racist. And I said, friend, look, okay, I'm getting ready to take legal action against the library. Okay, so I'm doing this in my defense. So if you have any issues, call the cops. I'm just saying, real simple. I said, I don't got time for your shit. Okay, I speak in a voice that you're more comfortable with. Since my voice is so ethnically threatening. My voice is so ethnically threatening. By golly, all means. So this is a voice of therapy too. So when I feel things getting hot, particularly for Fran, I like to speak in, their people's voice, particularly. And that's not necessarily their people's voice, but there is an ethnic difference between how we speak. But then you have to understand, but based off of your background and the setting, and where you were raised at, because you got members of my community that speak quite well proper. They speak a lot better than some white folks. Okay, and just because you speak a broken English, it doesn't mean you're not intelligent. When you have people that are blind, deaf, and dumb, or what they say, not blind, deaf, and dumb, but people that are deaf, okay, that are very intelligent, that are savants. Same thing, you got particularly people that are autistic. They're lacking in the area, but they're very intelligent. Okay, so you cannot underestimate people. I mean, you can if you want, but you can't read a book by its cover. Is what I'm saying, because you'll miss out on the beauty within, and the capturing of such beauty by the expression of the process of humanizing someone, or the process of humanization, I'll call it, getting to know someone. That's humanizing to them. What they're doing is not trying to get to know me, but they're trying to break me down and tell me who I am. Okay, build me back up into a slave. Okay, and they have a history of doing this. Okay, particularly them folks. Alright? So I've never talked so much in my fucking life when it comes to making these recordings and videos. Particularly, you're my audience. Okay, so I do these things in my defense. So I said at the beginning of this recording that I stepped outside the library because I know it's going to be an issue. It always is an issue with them. Holly's in there too. Shit, I can't use the printer. Holly's in there. Don't allow me to use the printer, so I don't use the printer. I walk my ass all the way down to Staples and shit, because that's how racist they are. I don't even touch the motherfucker. I don't even like looking at the motherfucker no more. I just see Holly. Holly by golly. Don't use the motherfucker no more. Okay? So fuck it. The same money that I'm going to get when I take legal action, I'll buy a better printer. Okay? According to the Holy Spirit. According to whatever he's doing, okay, for me, okay? Because I already believe that the Lord, I've already won this case, but it doesn't mean that I get comfortable, complacent, just kick my feet up. No, you work and you work and you work, non-stop. It's a hustle. Okay, fuck that shit, motherfucker. Got family to take care of, my mother, my father. In my culture, we take care of our own, okay? What about my SSI? What happens if there's no SSI? You better be saving, and you better be well financed, or well strategically financed to be able to take care of yourself and the structure of your family. Okay, say if I want to have a family one day, can't have a family one day because he's biggest. Okay, all right. All right. So you gotta understand. You gotta forgive people, okay? When they walk past me all the time, on and off this recording, said we really don't care, and I said that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Same thing to the grizzly bears. They don't give a damn either. But in the court of law, are you the grizzly? And by the way, when I say grizzly, be mindful. The lack of intelligence here. I call this. I mean, it's just the country is becoming a country of idiocies, like that movie. Are you the grizzly, which is the K-Pack or K-Pack predator, X-Pack predator? I believe X-Pack predator. This movie chronicles particularly. It's a really good movie with Michael B. Jordan, and they had powers and shit. And the individual said, "I'm an X-Pack predator, Apex predator, something like that." Give me a minute. Okay, so I'm back. You know, I just want to talk about something, man. So what an apex predator is someone, particularly apex predator or something, an apex predator, also known as a top predator or super predator, is a predator at the top of the food chain without natural predators of his own. So what is an apex predator? That's like a grizzly bear. That's why I said a grizzly bear. I say, are you a grizzly bear in court? If you went up against a grizzly bear in court, okay, and being a human, okay, or bunny, grizzly bear in court, there was no means of escape. How fast do you think that bunny could run, or that elk, or that deer? Okay? So, in the court of law, is this, okay, as I am the plaintiff, and they're the defendant, am I the X-Pack or Apex? Okay, it's really Apex, excuse me. And let me look that shit up again. Okay, do I have a Apex case? Okay. All right. Am I the grizzly or am I the bunny? You gotta look at it for what it is. Okay. Am I the wolf or the bunny? Or the bunny or the wolf? You have to understand, looking at it for what it is. So in regards to this case, that's why I be looking at the motherfuckers. I said, I don't give a fuck how many bunnies. Hey, look, do you think a bear really gives a fuck about how many bunnies, okay, are in the kingdom? A lion, do you think a lion can give a fuck about how many zebras are in the kingdom? Nah, he just looking for the next meal. Just like I'm looking for a check. Get off the streets, looking for employment and shit. SSI, college tuition. Motherfucker. It is what it is. Shit. It's instinctual. Okay? It's instinctual for a man to be a man. Okay? Now some men, you know, lack that masculinity. I don't. Okay? Alright? Let me tell you something, man. These firefighters that just came in here, they came upstairs, they parked over there, they was talking that good shit. That molly-whopping shit. Okay? And they had laughed in the background. You didn't hear it, because I had to pause. And particularly, one of the firemen said in the quiet zone. So you have overt racism and covert racism. Okay, overt is open, shameless, which these people are. And covert racism, you have a mix of that, particularly here and everywhere in America, okay, in the South as well. So we're going to be talking about overt racism today, okay. The guy had laughed particularly and said, I am. So we're going to go get the number, particularly of the fire truck that just happens to be sitting out there, okay, and then tracking the number, because I've had issues with firemen before. They were going to the restroom, particularly at the Birchwood, and they would talk about my dick and shit. It was weird, so I stepped outside the restroom to respect them. I said, hey, you can have your space. I don't feel comfortable. I'm not gay. You have to understand the negative connotations with that. Okay. Firemen talking about someone's dick. A man in the men's restroom. You got to understand, firemen. It was not just one, not just two, but a few. Okay. So I took pictures of the fireman truck. I believe I already sent it to the police. It is what it is. They're talking about calling the police on me too, particularly. So this is the second incident that I've had issues with the firemen. So I said if they call the cops, this is perfectly fine. Okay, all right. And then I asked the officers about. I want to ask them. I say, hey, can you help me find work so we stop having incidents like this? Okay, and particularly when it comes to releasing my former name, social security number, I'm having a bit of an issue with stir here. Could you give me some advice, officer? when it comes to when it comes to your race, when it comes to your tribe, the Canaanites, because really they're the issue. I'm not an issue. Now, now if you can prove that I'm the issue here on video, because this, Facebook, I say, and you can prove those statements in court, all right, perfectly fine. I will address the issue amongst myself, not taking it out on another community by constructing a system of institutionalized racism and putting them in the state of the disenfranchised, okay, like your race does as a religion, or your tribe particularly. So I don't see what the issue is, okay? Am I violating anybody's rights here? I stepped outside the library. I'm very careful. You can watch the recording of the video fucking self. Even when it comes to cursing in front of the children. And by golly, these motherfuckers say hell of a lot worse. So when it comes to the real criminals actually talking about fucking kids, Tim and Cody in there, and the librarians talking about molesting the members of my community, the Hebrews, okay, the Chinese, and anyone outside even their own kids, particularly, I can't even say anyone outside of their ethnic group or ethnic standing of association, of their ethnic, identification. So it is what it is. So we're gonna step over here for a minute. Just give me a minute. Excuse me, guys. I'm back. I have to grab my cup. We got some thieving lepers babies in this motherfucker. They have a habit of calling themselves lepers niggers and shit. I don't like to say that. That's what they like to say. I call them a nigger right back. They've called me a lepers nigger too. I said, look, excuse me, I'm not white. So I call them it back. But that's not something in my vocabulary that I really like to say. And I read so much, so there's no real excuse for me to be speaking like that anyway. What I'm saying is, there is an excuse. I have trauma and shit. In the environment I'm around, and based on, what you come up around too. Just because you speak a certain way doesn't mean you're an idiot or a bad person. You got a lot of people that curse like sailors. You got saints that like to, I'm serious, you got saints that like to stick their meat shanks in children and get away with it due to their connections and, with the church and whatever, mind you, okay? Monies, political connections, and everything else. You got people in this world that are untouchable, and they won't be touched until the flames of hell touch them, okay? The flames of the lake of fire. So, they're not as untouchable as they think, all right? A lot of these Caucasians, too, they think they're untouchable and shit. Unmatched. Okay? And that's perfectly fine. But, you never get this dick, though. We're going on a trip in my favorite rocket ship, moving through time. Little Einstein, come on, little Einstein. That's my shit right there. I don't give a fuck if nobody see. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. That's my shit right there. Like the Wiggles and shit. I used to watch all that shit. My younger brother, Keandre, he the youngest out of all of us. I used to love that shit too. I hate it though. I ain't hiding it, but I was kind of like, man, motherfuckers, I don't watch this shit. But you get into it because you see him into it and shit. I believe let me see if I can remember if you watched Little Einstein and shit. Someone was watching Little Einstein. But like I said, it is what it is, guys. Alright, the Wiggles and shit. Blue's Clues. Some good shit. Sesame Street. Like I say, I take my cart with me, guys, because, motherfuckers be stealing shit. When I speak, when I say these derogatory slurs, there's no real malice in my voice or passion. Now, if I'm expressing it, yes, but to actually use as my regular, in my regular manner of speech or vernacular and verbiage, no. That's why I read so much too, because I'm trying to train myself out of trauma. So I'm constantly reading all the time, so I don't speak a certain way, so I can be more professional in business settings. Because you can blow a whole, hey look, shit, but based off of the way you speak, how you conduct yourself, you can lose business. So when you speaking to certain people, okay, all right, they go to license plate, So between these times and stuff, while they're here, you can get the exact license plate number, the number of the firing truck, who was driving that shit. Say, hey man, I don't appreciate the way they, spoke about me. They were saying a few other things too I don't appreciate. So I mean, it is what it is. But like, it's cool though. Look at that shit. You gotta understand. And negative connotations, with firemen anyway, particularly with all the gay jokes. And that's not really negative in the sense of your LGBTQ. It's a positive, okay? But depending on your matter of perception, okay, when it comes to the First Amendment, right, you have negative views of this and the positive views of this, sliding up and down the fireman pole. You got to understand what the pole represents here, when it comes to the gay joke, But like I say, I'm saying, I have nothing against the LGBTQ. Now you have a lot of LGBTQ members that have something against me, okay? And I'm not even speaking against them. It's really a racial issue. It's a sexual issue too, particularly in regards to my sexual orientation, which they have defamed, to a point of all obscurity. All right, so it is what it is. All right, from asexual to demisexual. Okay. All right. Homosexual, back to heterosexual, and all around. Pansexual. Okay. I mean, this shit is just crazy as hell. So, particularly, just sexual, man, hypersexual. So particularly this is the fire truck, I got the number of it. So when they were driving here, I got the license plates and number and everything. So it is what it is, man. I should take a picture of it. Then I gotta get going. I don't got time for this shit. I gotta find all the sockets in the city. Because what they're trying to do is change up all the sockets. But you gotta understand, that's unfair not only to me, but the Caucasians as well. So you fucking with them too. I see them charging their shit too. Okay? Just because you being a fucking bigot and you don't want to see me advance and go any further. Alright, so that's the license plate number. 062X765. Municipal, Michigan. But like I said, it is what it is. Hey, that's a nice eagle right there. I like that design though. But see, I'm professional with this shit. Okay, so let's get going. I don't want to be any more of an issue for being in a, intelligent ass nigger kike. But you see the kids coming out here. See they, man, look, I ain't bothering nobody. I'm not trying to film the kids. I'm not trying to film them and shit. A lot of people don't like to be filmed and stuff. Okay. So, but like I say, it is what it is. Alright? You gotta understand, man. You got a lot of bigots here, okay? I'm not the issue here. Okay, I don't like to film people that, particularly cause any issue. Okay? Alright? So if I do film anyone, okay, like I say, this is public. People take pictures of me all the time. Okay? I'm not causing any issues. I actually support this kind of shit. And I actually going to donate money to stuff like this. This is fucking amazing right here. So this is the positive of the library, guys. I want to tell you about this. They always have events like this. It's actually fucking amazing. I might stick around and see this shit. I like this shit. I like to see the community get together. I wish it was more color. Okay. Like I say, a lot of what I was doing, they said that I was standing against the library. Do I sound like I'm standing against the library? So this is the positive of the community. Okay, so this is a positive. So Port Huron is not all bad. I just want to talk about that. All right, guys. So my intents and purposes of recording are not to defame anyone's character or any form of defamation or slander as they have done me, particularly not everyone in this city. But the children are innocent, man. What the fuck are children gonna do to me? Look at these babies, man. They just babies. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Oh, the fireman right there. There you go. There you go. There you go. I like firemen though. I appreciate what they do. That's a fireman right there. Y'all doing a good job. Hey, Shalom, sir. How you doing? My boy Sukayomi was going to school to be a fireman, man. Okay? He stopped going, unfortunately. So it was a good job. get a lot of ladies with that too. He's talking about that. We talking about that. He say that's fireman right there. Hey, Shalom. Hey, brother. Hey, do your thing, man. I'm doing good, sir. Hey, Shalom, man. I like that shit. You ready to go? Yeah. That'd be cool if they had a system where they, carry a ladder or something, carry something like that where somehow they slide down the poles and shit. They carry it around and fold out or some shit like that, some contraption or some shit. I think it'd be nice, particularly, especially if they have ladders and shit. But imagine if you can save people from fires and they can slide down a pole with some contraption that rolls out. Particularly, it would be a good thing where a ladder, can fall. It's faster going down a pole, sliding down a pole than actually, particularly, going down a ladder that can fall. And then now, not only is the fireman at risk, but you have the child or the woman or whoever, being saved from that fire. Okay, particularly that can die, perish, and it be all in vain. So it's some serious shit, man. Okay. So I gotta get going, but I have some videos too. Particularly, I gotta get going. But Pork Hearing is not all bad, guys. I just want to say I'm not a negative Nancy, but it's just so much negativity. So I try to spin it and add a bit of comedy to it. Okay, I'm not an asshole. Okay, I'm dealing with a lot of assholes. Okay, but like I say, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I got a lot of videos too. Like these firemen particularly, and it was a black fireman, or quote unquote, allegedly, quote unquote, so-called black fireman, Hebrew fireman. They actually talked about him being socialized to hate his own, that he left his own the members of his nation, okay, in fires, and he actually admitted it on the web. And then there's other firemen that have done this too, whites, or Canaanites. So there's even racism when it comes to the fire department. So I will post this video particularly in that one, hand in hand, so people can see the severity of the institutionalized racism, okay? And that, hey, look, I got citations. I can back it up. No procrastinations, okay? But it is what it is. I gotta get going, guys. But, nothing personal, just business, okay? And even when people say god-awful things, I don't sit around and argue. I just happen to be at that place and time, and they will actually sit up there and argue with me, okay? And especially if I'm studying, I'm not going anywhere unless they try to kick me out or something. And they have, they kick me out or whatever, then I'll leave. But for the most part, they just violated my civil liberties. So I'm a very passive, peaceable person. Okay? They said that I'm not very passive because I would fight their whites justifiably. So if you're trying to rape me or sexually harass me, but you gotta understand, a lot of those people over there were bigots. I've had experiences with them before. You remember their voices, and they have a certain, what do you call it, inflection in their voice when they say nigger. When it comes to them, it's when you get called nigger so much by motherfuckers, they so fucking racist, and then you can recognize their voice and how they say the N-word. It's pretty bad. So, and you just walk away. See how I'm walking away? They say I'm not pacifist though. Say I'm not passive because I defend myself. Okay. Well, Jesus Christ, you can say he was a bit of a pacifist, but when he comes back, he's come back with a sword, right? To judge, okay? To defend his saints. So what the fuck you talking about? Like I say, it's done, it's done. Get it done like hot dogs on a bun, son. But you gotta understand the lack of intelligence when it comes to some people. And when you're dealing with someone that acts like or people that act like they just come out the caves, have no sense of mathematics, science, communication skills, okay? All right, a lot of these motherfuckers act like Neanderthals, man. Okay, talk about knocking me over my head. That's why I wear the hard hat, and molesting me, taking it from me, okay? Glorifying that cavemen, or that period of the cavemen and women, or the period of the cave I call period of barbarism, okay? And that was only particularly for the Neanderthals, particularly. That's the history in store for another day, okay? All right, but that's what I'm saying is they act like that, okay? All right. Now the Neanderthals, it is found, the Neanderthal, okay, not necessarily insult, particularly if you're acting like that, particularly it's just facts. Not only that, but it's actually biology, and a lot of people still have Neanderthal DNA in them, okay? So I'm not discriminating against them in any way, but Neanderthals are not even considered, it's not even considered human DNA. So Homo sapiens, that's considered human, this biology, science, that's actually considered human DNA. Okay, so the first humans were Homo sapien, okay? They say Neanderthals came along later on. So where did they come from? That's a story for another day. Don't got time. All right. So if the first man and woman has been confirmed by scientists as being black, okay, then you sitting there saying, call me all these niggas and shit. But primarily, from what I've studied, people are more Homo sapien than Neanderthal. And particularly when it comes to the Neanderthals, the Neanderthals were known for their pale skin, okay, and very recessive traits. Recessive traits meaning, check this out, right? If whatever's more dominant will last, okay? The recessive gene, there's a dominant gene, there's a recessive gene. So obviously the Homo sapiens were more dominant genetically. So being the first man, first woman, being black, if you're Homo sapien, okay, you're Neanderthal, okay, Homo sapien, you're considered a human, right? So now the one drop rule, if you have one drop of black blood in you, you're considered a nigga. So they're niggas. Lepers niggas, okay? According to what they say, okay? Call themselves lepers niggers. So they already know their history, okay? That's what I'm saying. They say, lepers niggers. Lepers niggers. Say it all the time, and it's a badge of honor for them. So, you know, this is Backwaters County, okay? Backwaters, USA, okay? Because everything's backwards, okay? All right? Degenerates, man. Like degeneration of intelligence. I mean, it's just sad, man. I can't communicate with these people. That's why, look, I have to communicate my issues within these videos because they have such fucking poor communication skills. But you see the way I talk to them and I walked away from conflict. They were already starting conflict, talking mad shit. Fat white bitches and shit, and just the white women, and you know, a bunch of white women, and then you had, you know, they never had any good dick in their life. They would start talking about. So I started walking away. And I'm not saying this is always the case. I really don't care. I don't even use my pecker, okay? I'm an aesthetic Jew. And mind you, I would not even be talking about these issues, writing poems about these issues, if I was not traumatized and dealing with it on a 24/7 basis and did not have to prove my case. But I forgive them. I'm not attracted to white women and shit like that. They start getting flirties and stuff. And shit like that's what they call it, flirties down here. Start getting flirties. I say flirting, but like I said, we speak a little bit different down here in the antebellum north. Alright? You come here, you'll find out. Walk around with me for a bit. You'll find out. But just be around here. Go to the mall. Start speaking Eastham. Just start speaking about Eastham. Okay? Alright? Start walking around here asking people about Eastham. Alright, the lowly Jew. They say all kinds of shit. Alright? And matter of fact, and be white. Okay? Say you have no association with me and walk around with a fucking camera, okay? Particularly a camera that they can't see. They say all kinds of shit. I'm telling you, man, a lot of shit will be exposed. Go into the library, do it. I'm telling you, man, motherfucker. I already built the case pretty much. At this point in time, you really exposed them motherfuckers. Go to Fran particularly. Okay? Pull it to the side. You know, hint at a derogatory slur or two, and she'll take the floor. Be like rolling out the red carpet for her. Okay? Alright? Or the glory door. Well, the glory door is the back door because that's what they love talking about, anal sex and having anal sex and shit. I call it the glory door because they talk about it with such glory, as if it's so glorious. Okay, I call it the glory door. Okay. But I forgive them, man. You know, you gotta understand. They always say things like, I'm ghostly, cause I'm a spook, stuff like that. I mean, well, they say when it comes to derogatory slurs, okay, all right. But like I say, it is what it is, particularly when it comes to a lot of things that I post, in regards to this case. Hey, shout out to Facebook. Got nothing against you, okay? Work with me here. I'm not working against you. So if there's any issues, I'll leave my number in all the private videos, okay? That seem to be an issue for some folks. And you can just call me, okay? All right, talk. But like I say, it is what it is according to, the bigotry and the obscene behavior, okay, and the irrationality of their penis envy. So I got to get going, okay? But like I say, I love these people. But you see how much I've been through, and then the videos following last night and shit like that. So you have to understand that's not normally how I am, okay? So when you have people that push you to that point, and I never address the police like that, but they pushing me, man. There's only so much a motherfucker can take, okay? Motherfuckers are bigots, man. Okay, can't stand fucking bigots, man. Alright, so it is what it is, man. I don't even like calling the fucking police. Okay, it's emergency. But I make sure before I call the police, my phone is charged. Pull out all my phones. Okay. Keep that video rolling. Keep that show going, the biggest show going. Okay. All right. I do not trust the police. I'm gonna just say that right now. I've lost all trust for the police. Okay. According to what they're saying, these bigots here actually have an algorithm following how many times they say we really can't trust the police to kill them. These are the true bigots, by the way. Let me just tell you, most of those people standing in that crowd were bigots and people that I've run into condone everything that's happening to me and have helped put me on the streets. That's why it's a city problem. But you don't focus on the small fries. You want to focus, like particularly the police station, the library, federal government, the big businesses that employ these bigots that prevent you from getting work, because it's truly not the establishments themselves, particularly it's the people with the ideology that work within these establishments. That's the real issue. Okay. There's so many people, like, fuck that shit. I just walk away. You know what I'm saying? And I said, well, I got them on video shit, so I have any issues, I can run that camera back and say, oh, I remember that motherfucker. That's the fucking bigot right there at the library. They was simply talking about sucking my dick. But you gotta forgive people, man, okay? Is that a cop? Oh shit, cool. Cool, I said that's a fucking cop. See, did you see my response when it comes to cops and shit? I don't have a negative, let me say this. I don't trust cops, but because I had such a positive representation of cops when it came to law and order, particularly. Law and Order SVU, I was happy. I seen this gun, looked this gun, this badge and shit. I didn't take anything personal to that shit. I said, okay, cool shit. And see, I'm an optimist. So my thing is, I put energy out there and I expect positive results. I have high expectations when it comes to, myself. I have very low expectations when it comes to the whites, Canaanites, particularly when it comes to people in general. Even when it comes to my family, not necessarily when it comes to my family, but I say, look, what I mean by that is I love my family, but I don't expect anything from them. I'm one of the motherfuckers that hate asking for help. I said, fuck that. I'd rather have them ask me for help than having to ask them for help. And I would not hold it over their head against them. Shit, I said, motherfucker, what you need? It is what it is. Shit, because I don't like taking advantage of people. It made me feel like I'm taking advantage of something like that. But I'm a fucking man, you know what I'm saying? So I put myself in this situation by their doing, not by my doing. They put me in this situation. But according to them, I put myself in this situation by not being a good boy or a bigot.
Is that why you got brave enough?
So you gotta understand, man. I can't deal with them, man. I find them completely and utterly disgusting. I walk away when it comes to the thought of having sex with them, the women of their community. You see how they treat me, right? How despicable can you be? I can't be friends with them. I don't believe in being friends with Caucasian women anyway, or women in general, because I don't like the sexual aspect of it. We could be business partners or something, working. I mean, if I'm working with you and stuff like that, or associates, good associates, bad associates, I have a good rapport with my enemies. Okay? They like to call me niggas. I provide you guys with the entertainment of them being bigots and calling me niggas, and thus I get paid. Okay? In regards to this case. Okay? And it's protection for me too. Like, they really don't want me to build this case. Okay? You gotta forgive him, man. You gotta forgive him, man. The biggest. I mean, it is what it is. Just gotta forgive him. They'll be biggest for all their days. You see how I stepped away from the library? Hey, that's the cop right there. You got the badge and everything. Shit was cool, man. Because I thought about being a cop. I think cops are cool. Law and Order SVU particularly, especially when it came to the sex crimes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Hated that shit. Woman getting raped and shit. It made me feel sick. It made me feel like my wee-wee was, it just made me feel like it was falling off or some shit. I don't know, it's a weird feeling when you see something so disgusting, it makes your pee-pee feel uncomfortable. Or, that's what they call it, the wee-wee. Or my penis. I'm trying to be very careful because I'm around kids. I'm being respectful, okay, to the best of my ability. So I stepped away from the library because I see there's a lot of kids, a lot of child trafficking that they talk about, and molestation of their own kids as well, saying that they would have intercourse with their own kids. Okay, so the library particularly really pushes that shit, most particularly upstairs. So I stepped away. I do not agree with that. I do not harbor any feelings towards children sexually. Okay? All right? Never have. Never have. Okay? I have no history recorded. Okay? Or non-recorded, okay, of me having sexual feelings with children and acting on them. Okay? I just want to say that right now, okay? So I stepped away from the children. Why? Because I get accused. He said, oh, you trying to touch my child. So also, I just want to say this one last thing. They talk about also, particularly me engaging in intercourse, or particularly using their children, saying that I was a pedophile, using their children and allowing me to have sex with their children, and then blackmailing me to have sex with them because of the allowance of me having sex with their kids. Okay, so you gotta forgive, man. They were talking about this shit. Look, you gotta understand. I'm not racist, but when you've socialized me to view you in this manner, and I still don't hate you, okay? I mean, but I just, can't. It's hard. Can't really live around these motherfuckers without suing them or having a lawyer on standby. And even when I get out of the situation, I'm gonna have so many fucking phones. It's gonna be fucking ridiculous. I'm gonna have phones hitting in my fucking house, or whatever I decide to get. I'm in Port Huron. Some people say, well, firearms and shit. A phone is more lethal than a gun at times. My uncle taught me something. He said a pen is more deadly than a gun. And it is. Because through laws, okay, your issues can be put right behind bars. Forever. Through laws, a man can be put on death row. So I'd rather fight with the pen. So this right here, when I would have my stylus, when I use my stylus, or particularly this phone is my pen. Enacting laws based off of the Constitution. You see what I'm saying? It's better than walking around here with a gun threatening people who say, hey, you will respect me. I said, you don't have to respect me, but shit, motherfucker. When you're disrespecting me based off of the violation of my civil liberties and preventing me from getting work and stuff, now you are on grounds to be sued. And that's perfectly fine. But I don't give a fuck whether you respect me or not, bitch. I don't need you. I got the skills to pay the bills. According to the Holy Spirit, I'm just in the wrong environment. Bitch, I don't need your love, especially Canaanites. oh, the Canaanites were the worst people in the scriptures. Why the fuck would I expect anything more from you, according to scriptures? And the greatest sin of the Canaanites was sexual. They would sacrifice to the god Molech. All the time. All the time. Their own children. God, a child sacrifice. Okay? Getting into the Star of David and the actual history of that, don't want to speak about the Star of David. Okay? Like I say, it is what it is. So you got to forgive people, man. But, like I said, I could back everything I'm saying up with citations and personal experience. You got to forgive people, man. But you got to understand, man, a lot of these people, they get off on having power over me, or allegedly having power over me. Fran particularly, So that's why I really don't like talking to Fran. Like, the simplest thing, me setting a pencil up on the desk that's really not bothering anybody, and then you have all this space on this desk. She said, we really don't want you to sit that there. It's really her. It's going to get in the way of the patrons. But I'm a patron, bitch. So I said, it's just a fucking pencil, a pen. I'm picking this shit up. Damn, bitch. So the littlest things that I do, particularly, I could pull out a chair a certain way. Oh, we like to have the chair pushed all the way in. I said, okay, bitch, damn. I'm getting to it. And she doesn't say this to anyone else. But she nitpicks me, man. Like a fucking nag. I see why she don't got no man. Her whole community told me she a bitch. She always been a bitch. Even she told me she had been do nice. I see why. But this is why I step outside the library, because I know I'm going to say some things that may offend the patrons that offend me all the time. But I say I have enough respect for them not to violate the experience, and the ambience, the experience of the patrons in regards to the ambience of the library. It's supposed to be peaceful. It's supposed to be silent. Motherfucker, I step in that fucking library, it's like Silent fucking Hill. I'm like, what the fuck? Got a friend walking around in a fucking nurse outfit. Like them fucking, from the Silent Hill movie. I'll post that shit. The nurses and shit. The fuck? Every creature I see. I've seen Fran's face and shit. That's how much she be fucking with. I'm like, what the fuck? You got Pyramid Head and shit. All kinds of shit in the motherfucker. I forgive him too. But you see what I'm saying? So I only can take them so seriously. Okay, she always fucking with me though. It ain't nobody else that fuck with me like Fran. Everybody love Fran though. That's the saying around the point. Everyone loves Fran. Because she's like the bigot that gets things done. Like kicking me out the library, son. And she really do. She be getting shit done, but then it be backfiring and shit. So then everybody doesn't love Fran. Okay. Because she helped me prove my case and I wasn't a part of her plan. So, it's dumb. How many times look, if I did a list, algorithms particularly, yes, I have algorithm lists, particularly how many times they say things, and I try to keep up with it, but it's very hard. Just to show the case how fucking horrible these people are. And being that I don't have a job because they won't let me work, I have all this time to do this. So if I can articulate myself this well and stay organized on the streets, creating a showering system and things of that nature, and build languages and alphabets, you trying to tell me I can't keep a job and still keep a cool temperament and head enough to build this case, even when the police are against me, lack of sleep, malnutrition, and you trying to tell me I'm the fucking problem, bitch? Get the fuck out of here. Well, let's see what the federal government says when I take legal action. And hopefully you have a good enough excuse. This shit ain't kosher in this bitch, man. This ain't kosher, man. I don't want that pussy. It's not kosher. Know what I'm saying? Not kosher. Okay, so like I said, I'm about to get going though. But see, I stepped away from the library because I'm going to say some shit. It was some kids that came by. Shit, I mean encourage fun their babies and shit, but they say a lot worse. And look, I'm not encouraging that they babies. Okay. That's why I stepped away from the library. So even when I'm in front of the library, I'm very mindful about what I say, because they say, hey, look, could you be careful about what you say in front of the library? I say, okay. And then when they leave, I'm like, well, bitch, damn. It ain't no different from what you say in and out the library. Just call me niggas and shit. How about you tell your patrons that you encourage to stop calling me niggas and shit? They used to walk past me and they would scream things with laughter, nigger, and all kinds of stuff. And I'm looking at Fran and shit, and she's sitting there clapping her hands like a fucking kid. like a fucking boy at a baseball game. Okay? Who's pitching? Who's catching? She doing both. Girl boy. Or girl man. Or boy girl. Okay? So you gotta understand. Now even her own comedian says she's one of the ugly biggest, and the reason why she fucks with me so much is because she can never get quality dick or handsome enough man to cut for her up. And she thought she was gonna build a dark dick dynasty with me. I said, bitch, please. That shit ain't happening. That's why I stepped away from the lobby, because I'm starting to talk about some shit. See what I'm saying? Oh, excuse me, sir. I'm so sorry, man. But like I said, you gotta be respectful of this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You gotta respect your elders, man. You see what I'm saying? I love my elders. Shit. Okay, I really do. Shit. Alright? Took my grandfather's name, right? See, in our culture, particularly, names are inheritance. Okay? I didn't take his money. Didn't want his fucking money. I said, everything you've done, he would offer me money, buy groceries. I chose to work 3 jobs. I didn't tell him that because he wanted me home. When I used to be home and spend time with him, and I was taking care of him, man. Okay, he would pass out. You know, he had diabetes. He would pass out and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta watch him. So I was working so much to put myself in a position where I could have some independence. And our deal was particularly, and once he saw that I was not using him and that, you know, I was the real deal, okay, because he had so many people that were using for his money. And when he saw that I was genuine, okay, when he saw that I was genuine, my last name, by the way, means to rebel. You know, it means to fight. Okay, to rebel against all iniquity. That's what my name means. Alright. But like I say, I'll post that shit. Or whatever, it doesn't matter. But you gotta understand, you really gotta forgive people, man. Okay? Oh shit, my Bible. But I mean, this video is getting kind of long. Okay? But you gotta understand. Alright? Alright? So you gotta understand, you know, the police released my former name. That's what the police did. Okay. Notice in every video, I always say they released my former name. Okay. Because they're fucking biggest, and that's right. That's a violation of my right to privacy. So the only reason why I mention it is because they've already committed the act of releasing my former name all over the fucking web, from city to city. I went to Detroit. Hey, shalom, brother. Hey, shalom, man. Shalom. Well, I went to the city, man. Oh, shit, okay. Y'all been good, man. Hey, I remember you, motherfucker. Forgive me, man. You know, I got, PTSD. Yeah, man. Hey, shalom, how you doing, man?
Blessed, bro.
That's good, brother. Hey.
Blessed, bro. I'll be on the radio soon.
Oh, shit.
Man, for real, bro. Out here doing it for real. I just shot another video. Hey, put me back on your YouTube.
Yeah, hey, give me a minute. I'm so... Shalom, shalom, shalom. So, like some people don't want to be recorded. So I actually just, I try not to, particularly out of respect. Particularly, I just got done talking about a holy lava, particularly. Oh, go check that brother out, man. Motherfucking can rap, man. No disrespect against him, He's a Christian brother. Nothing against Christians. I'm subscribed to his YouTube channel. I mean, he can flow, man. One of the brothers, he's from the 810, representing the 810. I'm from the 313, I represent the 313. Nothing against the 810. Okay? But I represent the 313. Hey, let me get my shit out the way, though. Well, like I see, it's a family coming. Let me get my shit out the way. But like I say, man, I got nothing against them. I don't represent the 810, and I think everyone knows for the reasons why, good enough reasons why. But you gotta understand, man. So I had to, go. I always represent the 313, though. I said, nah, I was born in the city. I never really felt attached to Port Huron because of all the racism and the bigotry here. Okay, so you gotta understand, I got nothing against Christians, man. You know, a lot of members of my family are Christians, particularly. I got members of my family that are Islam. I got members of my family that are agnostic, okay? Buddhism, all kinds of things, man. So you got to understand, even got some members of my family that are Satanists, unfortunately. All right, so it is what it is. When it comes to the First Amendment right, I love the First Amendment right for that reason, okay? I came from a very diverse background, to say the least, okay? Multicultural, okay? Natively bred Spartan Norseman, okay? You know, sometimes I say Valhalla, you know, comes to the Norseman. I think it glorious to die on the battlefield with the honors of a martyrs. Alright? I think it glorious to die on the battlefield with the honors of a martyrs. Alright, but I say it is what it is, nothing personal, just business and the 10 toes down on business, standing on the rock or the cornerstone that the biggest have refused. That of my father's business, that of which of course I would never divorce. Okay? But eventually this is going to come to an end. But like I said, this is Esam the Lowly Jew, wild man and born of a harlot true. And I approve this message brought to you. Shalom, shalom, and shalom. Mazel tov.